Jake Knapp, Make Time, How to Beat Distraction, Build Energy and Focus on What Matters Every Day. What if there was a way to fight the constant distractions of our busy, modern world and focus on the things that really matter? In Make Time, authors Jake Knapp and Zeratsky dive into the heart of the issue, revealing the main challenges we face: the busy bandwagon and infinity pools. The busy bandwagon encourages endless to-do lists and scheduled commitments, while infinity pools, such as social media and streaming sites, absorb our attention and valuable time. This book summary aims to break you free from these time traps, through tactics aimed at creating daily highlights, maintaining focus, and building energy. Is it possible to regain control over your precious time? Prepare to reshape your life and foster the balance that's essential in accomplishing your goals and staying connected to what truly matters.
Escaping the time destroyers. Our lack of time is self-imposed due to the busy bandwagon and the rise of infinity pools, which result in endless tasks and distractions. We spend 4 hours watching TV and another 4 hours staring at our smartphones per day. The question is, how do we escape? The answer will be explored in the following summary parts, looking at what not to do and what to do. Do you often feel like there aren't enough hours in the day to do everything you want to do? The truth is, our lack of time is partly self-imposed. The culprits: the busy bandwagon and infinity pools. The modern mindset of constant productivity tells us to cram in as much work as possible, leading to an array of tasks, overflowing inboxes, and crammed calendars. On top of that, we have access to infinity pools, a never-ending source of digital content from Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Netflix, and news websites. Their endless supply of information and entertainment proves to be a significant time waster. Statistics reveal that on average, we spend 4 hours watching TV and an additional 4 hours staring at our smartphones per day, the equivalent of a full-time job. The busy bandwagon and infinity pools have teamed up to become a tag-teaming duo of time destroyers, leading to endless tasks and distractions, leaving little room to do what we really want to do. However, there is hope. The following summary parts will explore how to escape the busy bandwagon and infinity pools grasp, looking at what not to do and what to do. The fallacy of productivity. The pursuit of productivity can lead to endless busyness, subordinating personal priorities, and postponing our own passions indefinitely. In our modern world, we are bombarded with various organizational systems that promise increased productivity. However, the idea that doing tasks faster or more efficiently will lead to more spare time is flawed. The reality is that there is an endless stream of tasks that replace the completed ones. This leads to a cycle of endless busyness, which ironically only reinforces the same mentality that got us there in the first place. Focusing on completing tasks as fast as possible is not only an unattainable goal but also places busyness on a pedestal. It also means deprioritizing oneself by prioritizing others' tasks and projects. By following someone else's priorities rather than our own, we end up losing time and energy for our own passions and projects, which we continue to postpone to another day. In the end, chasing the carrot on the hamster wheel of productivity leads to exhaustion and even infinity pools of distraction. The fallacy of productivity is that it can take us further away from our true callings, and instead, we find ourselves stuck in the endless pursuit of busyness. The power of infinity pools. Our brains were wired instinctively to be distractible and fascinated by stories, social status, and unpredictable rewards. These predispositions made humans benefit from tracking sudden changes in the environment, learn from each other, and search for food. However, the expertly designed infinity pools of today's tech industry exploit these prehistorical instincts and overpower our resistance by churning through iterations of their irresistible apps. It is not the techies or executives' fault as they are doing their jobs and competing fiercely. Therefore, we need strategies and tactics to avoid getting stuck in the infinity pool of distraction. Breaking free from the busy bandwagon and infinity pools. Our automatic reactive behaviors have made us vulnerable to the busy bandwagon and infinity pools. To regain control and mindfulness, we must shift from being reactive to proactive. This requires reprogramming our default settings and cultivating a mindful approach to professional demands and digital technologies. In today's world, we are constantly bombarded by demands and distractions that make it difficult to stay focused and productive. The busy bandwagon and infinity pools are two major culprits that leave us feeling depleted and overwhelmed. However, the real source of their power lies within us, our unmindful reactivity to external stimuli. Reactivity has become our default setting, akin to a phone's pre-programmed notifications and ringtones. But just as we can reprogram our phones to better suit our needs, we can also reprogram our behavior to be more proactive and mindful. By doing so, we can avoid the traps of the busy bandwagon and infinity pools and regain control of our lives. To become more proactive, we must first identify our automatic reactive behaviors and consciously choose to respond differently. This requires a mindful approach to professional demands and digital technologies. Instead of mindlessly checking our email or social media, we can schedule time to engage with them intentionally. In order to cultivate a more proactive mindset, it is also important to take breaks and practice self-care regularly. This helps us recharge and brings the necessary focus to our work tasks. Overall, by shifting from reactive to proactive, reprogramming our default settings, and cultivating mindful behavior, we can break free from the busy bandwagon and infinity pools and regain control of our lives. Mindfully proactive living. In the book, Make Time, the authors compare the temptation to be distracted to the sirens from Homer's Odyssey. Odysseus proactively tied himself to the mast of his ship and put beeswax in his crew's ears to avoid their bewitching voices. Similarly, the authors suggest creating barriers to prevent distractions and adopting a strategy molded to one's specific personality. The strategy, highlighted, focuses, energizes, and reflects to find tactics that work for the individual to avoid wasting time on distractions. One example includes setting up a website blocker to avoid scrolling through social media mindlessly. Finding time in your busy schedule. Being productive in completing short and long-term goals doesn't solve the problem of being too busy. In fact, it can make things worse by feeding into the busy bandwagon. A solution is to focus on a daily highlight, a sustained activity or project that can serve as your guiding star as you navigate it. Instead of waiting until the end of the day to see what the highlight of your day is, come up with an answer ahead of time by tweaking the question slightly. What do you want the highlight of your day to be? 3 approaches to finding your daily highlights. Discovering your daily highlights involves 3 approaches: urgency, satisfaction, and joy. To identify these highlights, you need to focus on tasks that take 60 to 90 minutes. Urgency highlights are more important than quick tasks for the day. Satisfaction highlights relate to the projects you want to work on but have procrastinated. Joy highlights involve doing something you enjoy that fills you with happiness. By choosing the right combination of these highlights, you can lead a proactive and fulfilled life. Highlight your priority. Unearth your top priorities with these tactical steps to accomplish more tasks with ease. Starting the day with a to-do list is a good idea, although it's hard to make sure that the important things get done. The book's author overlays a handful of tactics to accomplish more tasks with ease. Firstly, he suggests creating a ranked list of priorities to remind yourself of what's most vital. If 2 priorities have the same weightage, break the tie by tapping into your ranked list. Secondly, repeat the last day's highlight if it had been left undone, or simply to continue enjoying or cultivating a new skill. Thirdly, assign several little nagging tasks to a large composite task. Not only does it offer satisfaction, but it also relieves some of our burdens and provides more time to unwind. Another suggestion is to investigate your to-do list and select the most meaningful activity to perform first. Finally, for a long project, divide it into stages and string those stages into a multi-day highlight. Avoid performing all of these tactics at once as it may be difficult and tiring. Concentrate on the tactics that work and disregard the ones that don't. Simply deciding which tactics to utilize will assist us in achieving greater productivity and satisfaction. Making time for personal highlights. The author of the book emphasizes on the significance of setting aside time for personal highlights. The book suggests several tactics to accomplish this, including estimating the time needed for highlights, scheduling them regularly, and creating a detailed schedule. The reader is advised to become a morning person or effective night owl, which requires certain practical adjustments such as dimming the lights, adopting a consistent sleep schedule, and using a dawn simulator. Lastly, the book recommends spending time recharging before the highlight, signing off social media, and staying focused while executing it. Staying focused and avoiding distractions. In this section of the book, the author recommends various tactics for staying focused on important activities and avoiding distractions. These tactics include deleting or limiting the use of social media and email apps, logging out of social media accounts, catching up on news once a week, and writing down random questions instead of immediately Googling them. The author also advises readers to ensure they have enough energy to use the time made available by these tactics by covering ways to stay energized in the next section. Nurturing your mind and body. The mind and body are not separate entities, people need to take care of both. By looking at our ancestors' lifestyle, one can find simple yet crucial factors that contribute to our health and well-being, such as a diverse diet, a sleep schedule that matches the day's rhythm, social interaction, and low-keyed movement punctuated by intense activities. However, the modern lifestyle encourages an unhealthy rest with physical needs out of sync, leading to various health risks and a loss of energy and time. The key is to embrace the benefits of modern living while returning to principles based on our ancestors' lifestyle. With simple tactics, one can nurture both the mind and body for a healthier and more fulfilling life. 4 fundamental elements of a healthy lifestyle. The key factors to leading a healthy lifestyle can be categorized into 4 fundamental elements, namely, exercise, diet, sleep, and social connection. The importance of each factor and effective tactics to implement them are discussed in this book. The author emphasizes that exercise does not necessarily have to be time-consuming or overly strenuous to yield positive results. Even modest, daily activities such as running or swimming for 20 minutes can improve cognitive abilities, mood, and overall health. Alternatively, 7 minutes of high-intensity interval training can also provide significant benefits for the body. Regarding diet, it is recommended to follow a balanced diet consisting of plants, nuts, fish, and meat. The author suggests using a simple trick to maintain serving sizes by filling most of the plate with salad and adding the main course around it. Moreover, to avoid caffeine crashes, one should recaffeinate around 30 minutes before the expected crash. In terms of sleep, it is important to stick to a regular sleeping schedule and avoid oversleeping, which can result in a disrupted circadian rhythm. Likewise, social connections are paramount to a healthy lifestyle, and spending time with friends, family, and colleagues should be prioritized. Sharing a healthy meal together without the distraction of electronic devices can achieve multiple goals. In conclusion, by following these simple yet effective methods, one can improve their physical and mental well-being and live a long and healthy life. Make time tactics. The book provides 20 tactics for implementing the first 3 steps of the Make Time strategy: highlight, focus, and energize. To avoid feeling overwhelmed, the authors suggest thinking of the tactics as recipes in a cookbook. Just as one wouldn't feel compelled to cook through an entire cookbook, they shouldn't feel obligated to try every tactic. Instead, the point is to select the ones that fit their needs, test them out, observe, record and analyze the results. The final step of the Make Time strategy is to take a few moments every day to note what their highlight was, whether they made time for it, which tactics they used, what worked and didn't work about them, what changes they could make, which tactics they'll use tomorrow, and to rate their focus and energy levels on a scale of 1 to 10. By implementing these tactics, individuals can achieve more time, energy, and focus for the activities, projects and people they care about, and may even rediscover old passions or discover new ones.
In closing, Make Time offers a strategic and tactical approach to beating distractions and harnessing the most out of each day. By identifying daily highlights, maintaining focus, and nurturing energy, we can escape the mental prison the busy bandwagon and infinity pools create. By applying the right tactics, you can minimize your distractions, allowing you to spend more time on the people, projects, and passions that truly matter in your life. Remember, the goal is not to try all tactics at once, but rather to experiment and select what works best for you. By being mindfully proactive and embracing the tactics outlined here, you can escape destructive time wasters, find satisfaction in your days, and cultivate a more meaningful, focused, and energized life.